We no longer train for the unthinkable. The unthinkable is already here. There is only one place, one team, one-of-a-kind training. For the Department of Defense, the National Guard, Weapons of Mass Destruction, Civil Support Teams, and First Responders. In the heart of West Virginia, the West Virginia Memorial Tunnel and the Center for National Response.
Don't do it that way. We're there to be there quick, get it done, and get out.
We've had people run out of here because they thought it was real.
To best describe that, this is the real deal. Anytime you train as you fight.
It is extraordinary training for all levels of first responders, including hazardous material teams, bomb disposal technicians, police, fire, search and rescue teams. In 2000, Congress turned this abandoned highway tunnel into the Center for National Response, a one-of-a-kind, one-stop, hands-on consequence management counter-terrorism facility.
There's nowhere else in America that you're going to find this type of training. There's a lot of things that we can do here inside this tunnel that you cannot do outside. We can make it midday, we can make it nighttime. We can vary our wind direction. We have the 3 different drug labs inside the tunnel. We also have the subway, the only subway car in West Virginia. One of the greatest venues that we have is our rubble room. A lot of our first responders use that rubble scene for the different rescues and things that they would train on.
Because not only do we do training here at the CNR, we have mobile training teams that go out to locations of their choice, and then we will set up those exercises.
Terrifying exercises. CNR trainers diverting first responders with a simulated truck chemical spill. They put the real challenge inside. A dirty bomb, a combination of radioactive material and explosives the team must find and defuse. And if first responders can't come to West Virginia, the Center for National Response comes to them.
We've worked with the CNR folks here in New Mexico, along with back at the tunnel in West Virginia. Definitely by far the best training that we've had with third parties coming in. The trainers from CNR have real-world backgrounds, whether it be chemical, biological, nuclear. These are very perishable skills. We prefer to get out here, get dirty, get face-to-face with the first responders, get our hands on the equipment. Keeps us fresh, keeps us sharp.
The first time we went to the tunnel, it was something totally new. They did challenge us. After you've gone through quite a few of these, you can kind of guess beforehand what the outcome's going to be. Whereas they did challenge us, and they made it realistic.
The CNR Memorial Tunnel is designed to train military and civilian responders to save lives in the event of a weapons of mass destruction attack. A terrorist prime objective, first responders, often planting secondary devices to harm them as well. CNR exercise planners help trainees understand the danger and learn how to avoid it, including time in CNR's confined space egress trainer. Realism at every tunnel venue. Actual working labs, from chemical weapons grade equipment to clandestine laboratories replicating terrorist labs that create homemade poisons and methamphetamine.
We're not simulating anything at this facility when we're doing our testing. It's real smoke, it's real accident scene, everything's realistic.
The tunnel's rubble room simulates the most dramatic disaster. An explosion. A building collapse. The Trade Center Tower's inferno.
We had personnel here that was in the World Trade Center. They came back here later and said it was so realistic to them that they were having flashbacks.
A cave complex so accurate, the military uses it to train for combat in Afghanistan.
Some of the guys that were there when they walked in here said it gave them goosebumps because it looked real.
And we custom tailor scenarios that fit the needs of each individual customer.
Our first responders, they're telling us that this is unique, that they find this nowhere else. It's because it's not canned scenarios, and we develop that based off that commander's intent.
For military and civilian first responders, CNR's year-round training offers experience they simply cannot get anywhere else.
That turns black, that's when you know you have a hazard.
The folks here at the CNR, they're not force-feeding us with one of their scenarios. They let us create the scenario, write it around our response procedures. So we're not having to step out of roles that we've trained for.
Whether here or on site, CNR experts create as close to real-life readings the response team drills.
It's positive for a blister agent. In a training situation, it's kind of cool to actually see that. We don't always see that, you know. We get kind of simulants sometimes, or just say, people saying, okay, well, you got this or you got that. So it's kind of nice to actually get it and say, oh, cool, we got it.
No other training facility offers realistic scenario-based training inside a tunnel. CNR exercise planners prepare each exercise, adding lifelike wounds to mannequins and real-life role players. All designed so first responders learn what might go wrong when the real disaster strikes.
Do as realistic as possible. They set up booby traps once in a while to scare us, you know, maybe the possibility of blowing up or something. Other times they don't use it at all, just use chemicals or biology or radioactivity. This is pretty real.
The Center for National Response, simulating virtually any disaster and attack. Former military, nuclear, biological, and chemical experts are now CNR exercise planners, designing realistic scenarios. Military and civilian responders live those challenges several days each year. At the tunnel, on the road, in their hometown, guaranteeing our nation's frontline responders receive the best training possible. The Center for National Response.